Yo, what's going on everyone? My name is LionHeartZ. Welcome back to the channel, and today we got some hot breaking news to cover. Today, on Twitter, the god of map making himself, FMPONE, gave us the first look at the CS2 version of Cache. Now, it is only 2 screenshots, but listen, it was enough for me to get it up. And while I'm here staying at attention, we're going to talk about the screenshots, talk about a rough timeline of when Cache may return, and most importantly, what map should be leaving the pool to make room for the GOAT's eventual return. So if that sounds interesting to you, make sure you guys take a second, leave a like, leave a comment down below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Every single sub makes a difference in the YouTube algorithm, and listen, if you subscribe today, you will win the grand prize of satisfaction at becoming a member of the community. That's right. Right now, limited time offer, no money back guarantee. Subscribe right now to achieve good vibes. And while you're there, make sure you follow me on Twitch as well. I stream almost every day of the week, 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, twitch.tv/LionHeartZ1337. Same thing, good vibes are awarded the moment you follow me, so do it now, and let's get right into the video. Alright, first off, let's start with the goods. Let's take a look at the screenshots. So we get 2 screenshots of mid here on Cache, showing the perspective of T middle as well as what CT middle is going to look like. And first off, talking about the art style, obviously, New Cache, what was released into CSGO a few years back, was heavily criticized for the overly saturated green color, as well as overall decrease in performance. But what it looks like FMPONE is going for here is some kind of middle ground between the OG Cache and the CSGO rework, to where we get something that still looks dilapidated, post-apocalyptic, very run down, but there's just not as much greenery, there's not as much vibrance on the map, it's more of the old school color palette. I also really like the warm color of the skybox for this version of Cache. I think this is a really nice looking version so far. The statues in mid are very striking and they draw the eye, and obviously everything here looks very similar, very classic to how we are used to seeing Cache middle. Except for, in the second screenshot, one obvious change here is if you look towards Sniper's window in CT mid, it is significantly smaller than in the previous versions of the map. I'm going to put up a screenshot of mid from Cache on the current version that is in CSGO, and you can look at the Sniper's nest and notice immediately it's significantly bigger. You can see pretty much the entirety of the CT model, like upper half, the torso. Whereas it looks like with this version of the window, if this is going to stay into the final release version of the map, it's going to be like a head peak, or much smaller, showing a lot less of the CT in the window. So maybe the intention here is actually make Sniper's Nest a viable position to play, because previously you pretty much never went up here. It was too big, too exposed, you showed too much, there was no reason to go up here ever. Other than that, I don't really notice anything else significantly changed in mid here. This might just be a perspective thing. If anything, it looks like the vents might be a bit smaller, but I don't know. I think they're still going to be about the same size. I think that's just a screenshot perspective thing. There's no other obvious changes to the layout here. It is only 2 screenshots. But there's our first look at Cache. So far, it just looks really great. I'm really excited to get this map back. Speaking of, what is the timeline going to look at here? Now listen, we have to understand something. If you don't really know or understand what's going on, all maps that come into CS2 need to be rebuilt into the Source 2 engine. You can't copy-paste maps from CSGO to CS2. They need to be remade in the new engine and new engine architecture. So FMPONE couldn't take like the mesh layout of Cache, copy paste it into Source 2, and then add Source 2 textures. No, he has to make the map from scratch, which is a lot more work. We also have to consider there is a major upcoming in a little under a month. So unless Valve have changed their philosophy, they're not going to drop a new map and shake up the map pool in the middle of the major cycle. So when you consider all of those factors, I would say Cache would be anywhere from 3 to 6 months from being ready to test in game. After that, it's up to Valve on whether they want to implement it into the map pool. I think they will. This is a classic, iconic map, and I think we are hurting for a map pool shakeup, especially in the post-major environment. Now, out of the current map pool of Ancient, Anubis, Overpass, Nuke, Mirage, Inferno, Vertigo, I think there are 2 maps immediately that are most on the chopping block. I think Ancient, Anubis, Overpass, Nuke, and Inferno are good to stay. These maps for right now are fine for the state of the game. I think some of them need some work. I'd like to see some adjustments made to Overpass and Inferno specifically, but they're not in dire need of removal or in dire need of reworks. I'm going to take this stand right now. If you're someone who doesn't like Ancient or Anubis, I really do believe you just haven't played those maps enough. because with enough time and experience, these maps are really good. They're really fun to play, they have good unique strats to offer, and they're different than what we were used to in the old flow, especially back in CSGO. Come on guys, let's be real. There was a time for years in CSGO where primarily people only queued a handful of maps. It was Mirage, Inferno, New Cache, and Dust 2 if it was in the active pool at the time. We got used to playing the same goddamn maps all the time, so that when these new maps came out, we were really hesitant to accept change. And yes, Ancient Anubis were not very good when they were released, but over time, I think Valve have done a great job of refining these maps to where they are a great product. Especially at the pro level, Ancient right now is often feeling like the new Inferno. It's feeling like this great closer map that's playing really well at the pro level. So embrace these maps, learn how to play them, they're not going anywhere anytime soon. The two obvious problem childs in the map pool are Mirage and Vertigo. I've talked about them both before in different videos, but we're going to go over one more time. Mirage to me seems like the most obvious pick to take out of the map pool because it's the oldest remaining map, it's the one that's been reworked the least, and more specifically, Valve recently rebuilt Vertigo from the ground up with the intent to make Vertigo a part of the game. They want people to play Vertigo. Obviously that's not working, people hate Vertigo, but Valve have recently put a ton of work into trying to make this map a part of the game at a competitive level, and I don't think they're going to abandon all that work to preserve a map that has been around going all the way back to like fucking 1.6 that hasn't seen any significant layout changes in over 10 years. Mirage is the one that is most hurting for a facelift, a change in appearance, a change in layout, a significant rework, and a do-over into CS2. And frankly, I think this should have been one of the maps that were reworked to begin with had the game not launched as early as it had. Now, I base a lot of my reasoning in saying this based around the pro scene. I hate to break it to you guys, but I think Valve should be looking at this as a top-down balance model with the pro scene at the foremost priority, and the casual audience just has to adapt to whatever is best for the pro scene. And when you look at the pro play rates for all these maps since CS2 has come out, Mirage and Vertigo are the two least played maps alongside Inferno. Now, Inferno being low is more due to, I think, easier to solve issues. I think Inferno can be changed on the fly in a way Mirage can't, because the Inferno layout still works. The Inferno layout is classic, time-tested. It is so good when it works. Right now we have a problem of skyboxes and narrow hallways, which I think are a lot easier to solve than Mirage's systemic problems, where you have this issue with Mirage where the B side feels completely inaccessible to the T side at most levels of play. A lot of this is over-reliance on mid-control and stagnant strategies to where you only feel like there's a couple of ways to approach attacking the bomb sites, and over-reliance on A, because A is like the only functional part of the map that has any kind of variance. It's just the map needs a look at, it needs a once-over, it needs to be looked at and changed. And in the meantime, we can have Cache take its spot, and it would immediately be a much healthier game state, because Cache is just a better map than Mirage is right now. Now, in my heart of hearts, we'd also get Train, Season, some of the other iconic maps back as well, and we'd see a total facelift to the current active map pool, but that's wishful thinking, I think. Valve are going to do things slow, one at a time, and hopefully Mirage for Cache is something we see during this year as a big refresh to the map pool. That's about all we got for today as far as news goes. Make sure you guys check out FMPONE on Twitter. Follow him to keep up with Cache updates. Thank you for all the work he puts in. Cache coming back is going to be a big deal for CS2, and I'm really looking forward to it. That's the news. That's the video. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Follow me on Twitch, link down below. And honestly, have a good day. Get out there, get some dubs, get some big wins. And I'll see you soon with another video. Peace.